Hello, Marquita. Thank you so much for getting online with me. I appreciate you taking the time to talk a little bit more about your experience.
No problem.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and about your marriage.
Well, I am, let me see, this is my second marriage, which I wish I had these tools the first time. I just throw that out there at the beginning of everything. But I am in an interracial relationship. And I think a lot of the tools that is in the book and the videos that from the whole LoveWalk is perfect for any culture, any relationship, anything.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, how long have you guys been married?
A little over a year and a half now. So October will be 2 years, but we've been knowing each other about 10 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. That's a long time. So you guys were friends first, and then it just kind of turned the corner.
We were actually, him and my brother are best friends. So when my brother relocated, him and him became best friends. And then after going through my first divorce, I never really saw myself being in an interracial relationship. I never really saw myself remarrying, I have to be honest. And then he came along and it was different. It was different. So,
well, you know, love has no shade that way. And if he makes you happy, girl, and I mean, you've been smiling since this camera started rolling. And so I am happy for you. And one day I plan to do a love talk on interracial dating. I have you in mind and someone else who's actually been married a little bit longer than you. So I'm sure she can kind of help you with some things. So mark your calendar. I'm going to tap into you for that. All right. So you jumped right on in there with LoveWalk. And so tell me a little bit about your impressions of the book, I'm the Good Thing book. And then we'll talk about how you felt LoveWalk kind of helped or enhanced that.
So the book itself, in the journal form, I believe in always growing and reading and all those things because it's very helpful. But the book itself, it was like making you re-examine yourself. In a lot of the chapters, it was not only the affirmation, but you had to change your thinking process. You know, and we just two different people from two different walks of life, but it's good to reflect, period. So whether it was for my marriage or just a personal time to just reflect, it was good I used it as like a daily devotional journal, believe it or not.
That's
so I did it that way. So I did my regular devotional, but I used that at that time, and I was like, you know what? It's making me really analyze and really turn that inward thing inside out and really just deal with me on a personal level.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting, because I've had some people say, who did you write this book for? And I said, well, I wrote it with wives in mind, but the journey that we take is so much personal that makes us available to love. And that when you develop that way, it's a tool that can be used for many, but I wrote it with wives in mind because I just felt like people needed help. And I was trying to just recollect back to how did I get here? And it's because I had outlets of people who were challenging me to think that way. And so I'm so glad you called that out about the personal journey that it really is. I see that for sure. On the LoveWalk piece, which is the videos and the incorporation of accountability, you know, are you doing the lessons? Are you reading? Are you following up? How did you view that as being helpful to your experience?
Well, with each day, the video was in conjunction with the book itself. With the video, it made me feel like I wasn't on this journey by myself. You know, like in the videos, you were very transparent. And so not only what you were saying in the book was conveyed very good, but the video said, let me just hold your hand, walk you through this. Let me help you see that you're not on this journey, one, by yourself. And for two, you know, I've been there, I've done that. And sometimes, you know, I like to say somebody else has been through can be somebody else's breakthrough. That's what it was really good for me, because it was like, wow, not only am I seeing this, but not only am I reading this and I'm reflecting and I'm doing the affirmations, but I'm able to see somebody else that literally lived this. So it was very helpful, very, very helpful. And
Yeah.
some of those days I was like, ouch. I'm like, she gonna leave me alone. This is a bit much, but yes, it was very good. It was good.
Yeah, my hope is that you reflect on some of the goals that you set throughout, and that you don't just sit it to the side, that you pick it up and you go back, and you may not take another 30-day journey consecutively, but that you pick it up and you refer back to some of those affirmations, and you may even adopt some of them, especially when you're like seeing yourself dealing with something, and you'll be like, I know where to go.
And it actually did happen while I was on the journey. It's so crazy because like I used to have a bad habit, because I'm putting that side of me away, of just like nitpicking at different things. Mm-hmm. And I used to be like, okay, well, that ain't right, so I'm gonna say something, or this ain't right, so I'm gonna say something. And I forget what day it was, but on one of those days it was like, you need to check yourself, because you're trying to be the good thing, and what is he seeing? Just because you nitpicking, what is he actually seeing? And I'm like, dang, am I coming across, like, even to the point I was like, okay, let me just back up a little bit. Is it really worth me saying something at this point? And some things that I was even pointing out it wasn't worth it. But it was good, because I was like, dang, she just called me out, because I was good. Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time. It means so much to me. You know, it's hard to put yourself out. I know you do ministry, so it's hard to put yourself out there and be transparent. But I'm a firm believer that if you can tell me it's helping you, then it's worth it. And I'm willing to do it, because I believe we can keep families together. And if we can do that, then you become a stronger unit, not for yourself, but for your children and for everybody else around looking, trying to see somebody else who's making it. And if you can do that, then if I could be part of that journey, then I'm excited. Okay, so before we close out, I want you to give us your one sentence wife wisdom. What would you tell someone who is in a marriage relationship and say, here's my nugget for the day for you?
Well, I wouldn't even go back just for a marriage relationship, because if I recommended the book, I would recommend it to all women. And the reason why is because it's very important to really know yourself. If you don't know that you're the good thing, you can't be his good thing. And that's in the book, and even in the video, day after day, when you were doing that affirmation, especially on the video, it's like, he chose you. I was like, oh, he chose me. Because I am a good thing. But if in reality, if you really go through the process and you really, really allow yourself to be open and be transparent, even to yourself, it can help anybody. And you know, again, like I said, this is not my first marriage. This is my second marriage. And it was some things about me that I discovered, and I'm keeping it real, Denise. I discovered in that journey, and I was like, oh my God, even like past hurts that we put up on people. And so we want to be great wives, but you got to be a great you. And it was one of them days, and I want to say it was like around like in the teen days, where you start talking about celebrating yourself, knowing your worth. And when you do that, and I'm not supposed to do this in one sentence, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's a good investment to, even if you plan on becoming married, and if you just want to be a good friend, period, even if you want to discover you again, because that's what we really have to learn, how to be the good thing in order for him to find us to be the good thing.
Let him catch you doing something. That's what I always say. He shouldn't find you just chilling. He should find you on an agenda doing something and have to chase your butt down, okay? Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for jumping on, and I appreciate all your wisdom and everything, and thank you for being a part of it as well.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. I recommend it. I really
thank you so much.